Hey everyone, Alex here. I talk about collecting fragrances in a more mindful and thoughtful way. And in this video, I wanted to talk about building out the perfect fragrance collection and my thoughts on how many fragrances you need and the types of fragrances you need to build out a good fragrance collection. Now, I haven't posted on here in about a month and a half for a few reasons. I've been getting a lot of comments on people asking if I'm bored with YouTube or if I'm still going to be doing this, and I am still going to be doing this. The reason that I haven't posted is simply because I run a company full time and I just don't have the same amount of time at the moment that I had at the start of the year to be able to post content every week. But I'm still going to be posting content, I'm still going to be making these videos, but unfortunately I just can't prioritize YouTube, which is a hobby, over my actual career. But without any further ado, let's jump into this video. So different people are going to have different opinions on the amount of fragrances and the types of fragrances that you need. But these are my thoughts based on about 8 years of collecting fragrances and understanding what does and doesn't make a good collection. And I see a lot of people that have these huge collections, but really no thought goes into why they have the fragrances that they have. And that goes against my beliefs, which is that I personally believe you should really take the time to find out the types of fragrances that work for you, that make sense for you and suit you, and the ones that you really do love to wear, and then focus on building a collection around that theme. Now, in this video, there are 3 categories that we're going to cover that I think make a good collection. First of all, your warm weather fragrances. Second of all are your cold weather fragrances. And third of all, I don't think any collection is complete without a special occasion fragrance. Now, in my opinion, the perfect number of fragrances are 3. I think that having 1 good daily warm weather, 1 good daily cold weather, and 1 special occasion fragrance is absolutely all you need. You don't even have to have 3. Realistically, if you have 1 fragrance that you truly love and that's your signature and it works and it's versatile, I think that that's fine too. But we're talking about building a collection here after all. So let's get into the first category, which is your warm weather fragrance. Now, I think that a warm weather fragrance is generally the first fragrance that somebody should look to pick up because it's going to be the most versatile. Generally, the warmer weather fragrances, such as, I've got 3 here: Grey Vetiver Eau de Parfum by Tom Ford, Terre Hermes Eau Givrée by Hermes, and also Eau de Rangever by Hermes. I believe that all 3 of these fragrances are incredibly versatile because you can wear warmer weather fragrances in the cold weather. I just don't believe that you can wear colder weather fragrances in the warm weather. So by having any one of these fragrances or similar fragrances, it really allows you to wear that fragrance as almost like a daily signature, but you can also wear it to work. You can obviously wear it in the office, you can wear it to meetings, you can still wear them on dates because they all smell fantastic. You can wear them to parties. You can just wear them really all year round and everybody's gonna think that you smell good. Nobody's gonna be offended. And if you're looking to start your collection, that is where I would recommend getting started. Finding some type of warm weather signature that you can wear on a daily basis that's going to cover you across a variety of different occasions, a variety of different temperatures and reasons for wearing it. So these are the 3 that I recommend that I personally love for myself. Now, the next category is going to be your cold weather fragrance. And similar to having a warm weather daily, I think that it makes sense to have something for the colder weather because even though you can wear a warm weather fragrance in the cold weather, having something that cuts through the cold, that's a little bit deeper, a little bit richer and spicier, really does help to elevate your outfit. And I do believe that even though it's not essential, it does suit that temperature a lot more. So the 3 that I've got here as an example, I have Prada L'Homme Intense, obviously by Prada, Valentino Uomo Eau de Toilette, this is the original, but it's the 2021 version rather than the 2014 version. I think I spoke about in a video, they're really not that different, so don't worry about different batch variations. And Gris Chanel Extrait by BDK Parfums. All 3 of these fragrances are perfectly suitable as a daily cold weather scent. The reason that I think they're so suitable is that whilst they're rich and they're elegant, they're not so overpowering that they don't work on a day-to-day basis like the next fragrances that we're going to talk about. All 3 of those fragrances could work in the office if you go light on the trigger, and just going about your day-to-day business in the colder weather, all three of those are going to be perfectly suitable. They're going to work well when you're dressed up a little bit more elegantly, when you're wearing perhaps jeans and a nice coat and some boots, rather than your summer attire. And then they'll take you anywhere from the office through to evening events. And I think that that's where cold fragrances really do shine, is that they work so beautifully in evening events. And all three of those fragrances are no exception to that. Now, speaking of evening events, I personally don't believe that any fragrance collection is complete without having some type of more upscale, more elevated fragrances. And I do believe that evening events specifically are a time when you can afford to be a little bit more bold and a little bit more playful with your fragrances. So the three fragrances that I have here that I think are absolutely perfect for evening events and for more special occasions. The first is my personal favorite evening and special occasion fragrance. This is Santal Royal by Guerlain. I absolutely adore this. And this is something I haven't spoken about on my channel yet. This is such a rich blend of sandalwood and peach and oud and a bit of leather. It's so elegant and it's a little bit bold and it's a little bit daring. And when you want to stand out in some type of special occasion or evening event, something like this, it's a little bit more bold and it's going to shout a little bit more than the other cold weather fragrances, I think is really appropriate. The next fragrance that I think is suitable for this is Van Cleef & Arpels Orchid Leather. And this is one that I have spoken about before, but I mentioned I won't be buying again, simply because I have a hard time finding it in store and I prefer to buy in store than online. This is a boozy, dark, gothic plum, and it's got a huge, huge hit of leather in it, with obviously orchid as well. Absolutely beautiful for evening time. This is quite a dark fragrance, and I find that in evening events, especially special occasions when you're dressed up perhaps in a suit or an evening gown or something like that, having a darker, really quite boozy and rich fragrance is absolutely perfect for that type of event. And the final fragrance, speaking of being a little bit daring, is Ombre Sultan by Serge Lutens. Now, this is a fragrance that I kind of struggle with. I have a love-hate relationship, but I can certainly appreciate why this fragrance exists and what it exists for. This is undeniably regal and it smells expensive. And it's one of those, if you know fragrances. Not everybody is going to like this. It's very polarizing. It's dusty, it's ambery, it's almost got photorealistic kitchen spices, which, you know, some people are going to find a little bit difficult. But when you wear this on the right occasion, specifically special occasions, it really just blooms and it smells incredible in the air, and it really works when you're dressed up elegantly. It just does work. And I think that fragrances like this, ones that are a little bit more bold, a little bit more daring, you can really do that and have fun with them for these types of special and evening events. And I think that if you're building out a fragrance collection like that, starting with your warm weather fragrances, something that you can wear every day, that's going to take you throughout the whole year, you can wear it to work, you can wear it to the office, whatever it is. Then you've got your cold weather fragrances, something that you can wear when it gets a little bit chilly outside, that you can dress up a little bit more perhaps than those warmer weather fragrances. And then some special occasion fragrances, something that's really going to take you through to the absolute most amazing events of the year. If you only have 3 fragrances that cover each of those, you've got the perfect fragrance collection. And I really don't think you need any more than that. In fact, you could probably just have one fragrance that's going to suit all of those. Perhaps a warmer weather fragrance that is a little bit more expensive, a little bit more refined, that could work across all of those different categories is perfectly fine as well. Or like myself, if you'd like to have multiple fragrances for each category, that also works too. But ultimately the most important thing is finding a fragrance that really works for you and making sure you spend the time to really understand each fragrance and know what you do and don't like. The last thing that I want people doing is hearing about a fragrance online and then rushing out to blind buy it because somebody else likes it. That's like going and ordering food because somebody else enjoys that type of food, but you've never even tried it before. I think that it makes the most sense to be a little bit more thoughtful and a little bit more mindful about the fragrances that you're buying. Take the time to try them out. If you can't try them out in store, perhaps order some samples online. Perhaps, you can find a decanter if you really want to, and take the time to really understand the fragrance profiles and the style of fragrance that you like, and build out a collection for each of these categories around that style of perfumery that you enjoy and around the scent profiles that you enjoy. If you do that, you're going to have a perfectly well-rounded collection. And once you've got that type of collection, you can decide what you want to do from there. Maybe you're happy with just 3 fragrances and you feel like you've got your bases covered and you don't need more. Or maybe you want to go and explore more fragrances, but you can afford to do that now because you know that you've got your most important bases covered. And it really allows you to kind of be a little bit more flexible then in the types of fragrances that you explore. So that would be my recommendation. As long as you've got a good daily warm weather scent, a good daily cold weather scent, and a good upscale special occasion or evening wear scent, those are the 3 most important bases. If you do that, you're gonna have all of your bases covered, and then whatever you do with your fragrance collection from there is up to you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. For any other ideas on videos that you'd like me to make or you'd like to hear me speak about, please do let me know below, and I'd love to hear what type of fragrances you have in your collection as well. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll speak with you as soon as I possibly can. Thanks.